Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of my Create This Book 2 series by me and Moriah Elizabeth. Today, I'm going to be doing 3 more prompts. Before I begin, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's see what I can come up with today. The first prompt of today is to create beauty out of ugliness. Choose something you think is ugly and find a way to make it beautiful. I asked my husband what were things that I thought were ugly, and he immediately said spiders. And even thinking about spiders sends a chill down my spine. I do not like them. I don't want anything to do with them. I definitely do think they are ugly. So I had to take the challenge head on, and that's what I decided to do for this prompt. So I started out by sketching out some spiders, and then it was time to try and think of ways that I could make them look a little bit nicer than what they do look like. So I decided to add a kind of shell on top because I don't dislike crabs. I don't want one on me, but I'm perfectly fine with them. So I thought maybe if I added like a shell or something on top of the spiders, that could help. So I started off with that, and then I also thought maybe if I could find a way to make them a little bit cuter, which I didn't really think was possible, but I still attempted to do my best by even adding on some little eyelashes. That way it added a little touch of cuteness to the spider. For this little cute spider, which I think I made kind of cute, I can't even believe I said cute spider though, I am making a little mushroom type of terrarium on top of its back just to add a little bit more character and to make it look like it's carrying something beautiful on its back, because alone it was still freaking me out quite a bit. I wanted to make the dome look kind of like a bubble or like glass, so I added a couple of colors into the background just to make it look a little bit reflective, and then I went in and added some more details with a white gel pen to the mushrooms and to the spider. And now it was time to work on the other spider, which is a little bit more scary of a spider in my opinion. I really don't like them. So I started off by adding some shadows, and then I decided to try and make this one look a little more friendly by adding in some purple. And this one is a black widow spider, so I added on the little hourglass because I think that's kind of cool. I don't dislike that. And then it was time to work on the little plant life that was going to be on top of this spider, and I decided to do a orange yellowy flower because I thought that would complement the purple highlights we added to the spider nicely. And then I added in some outlines, and then this one was done as well. I think the other one turned out a lot nicer looking, but I still don't like spiders at all. I thought it would be a nice tie-in to make a web because I also hate spider webs and think they're ugly. Well, I think they're cool, but I also think they're ugly. So I decided to add little designs into the spider web to make it look a little more friendly and to make it not look so ugly. I think the web really tied in both sides of the pages together. I only did 2 spiders for this page. I really just couldn't spend any more time drawing spiders. It was just a little bit too much. I added some shadows so that it looked like they were on the page, and then it was time to move on to the next prompt. I think this one turned out cute, but that one I can still do without. So now it's time to move on to the next prompt, which is kind of an opposite of that one. It's to create ugliness out of beauty. So you choose something beautiful and find a way to make it ugly. For this one, I chose to do the ocean, or more so ocean creatures. I think that the ocean is a really beautiful, awesome thing, but there are some really ugly creatures that live in the water, and they're just not it. They're not a vibe. So I decided that I would draw these ocean creatures that make me think that the ocean is ugly. So the creatures that I specifically was thinking of were blobfish, goblin shark, and an anglerfish, like the one from Finding Nemo, the creepy one with the light on its head. So I first started by sketching them out and then outlining them with a pen, just that way you could see the outline. And at first I was thinking they didn't even really deserve to be colored, but that's not really fair. They're still beautiful creatures in their own way. I just think that they're ugly. So I decided to also add some color and some more detail to each of the ocean creatures. I wouldn't say that I'm terrified of the ocean or anything. I actually really like it, and I think it's really cool and beautiful, and I love the water. But I do think it's scary that these kind of creatures live like way deep in the ocean that like we don't even see, and so many creatures could be down there that we don't even know about. So that is kind of creepy, kind of scary, but from my understanding, they live in the dark and they like to be down deep in the water. So if they stay there and I stay up top, then I'm pretty happy with it. But these are some pretty disturbing creatures. I don't know that any of these would actually hurt people, but I still don't like how they look. So I decided to add some shadows onto these ones as well. And just to put more emphasis on the ocean part of the drawing, I added some little ocean waves, and I added a couple more details before calling this one completed. And I think it turned out well for what it is. I do think these creatures are pretty ugly, but I think I drew some pretty good ugly pictures. And now it's time for the final prompt, which is to create additions to the circles on the page. And I'd left myself a little note after seeing this page before that I wanted to make a page full of colorful bubbles. To do this, I started off by finding circular objects, which took me a little while to find anything, but then I drew out some circles everywhere that I thought needed circles and needed some more bubbles, and I tried to make them as smooth as possible so that they would match the bubbles that were printed onto the page and it would flow kind of smoothly. I had to freehand some though, so maybe those bubbles are about to pop. I don't know, but they're misshapen. And then it was time to bring in the reflective highlights and color. I started off by using pink and putting pink highlights and everything, and then I went on to a blue-green color and then yellow, and then I even added some deeper colors of purple before I finalized everything with some highlights. I don't know about you, but I think bubbles are so cool. Like, I know it's just soap, but seeing bubbles fly through the air is just something really special, I think. I don't know, it just brings me back to childhood. And they're so mesmerizing. It just doesn't seem possible to see these little floating sparkly orbs in the air. So I really like bubbles, and I thought this was a great way to incorporate the circles that were already on the page. At this point, I felt like the bubbles were looking a little bit stiff and a little too straightforward blocky colors, so I decided to bring in a white Posca pen and a white gel pen to just bring it to life a little bit more and to blend in some of the harsh lines. That way it was a little more smooth and bubbly. Here is the first prompt again, where I tried to create beauty out of ugliness by trying to make these spiders a little less ugly and a little more cute and hopefully a little more bearable to look at. And then here is where I created ugliness out of beauty. I think the ocean is beautiful, but these deep sea creatures are definitely not my favorite. And then I created bubbles by using these circles in the last page. I think they all turned out really well. I think my favorite one is probably the spider one, honestly. Not because I like spiders, but because I just feel like it turned out the best and I did a really good job on it. Thank you guys for watching. Before you leave, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.